90 to 97% of traders lose money. So why would you want to trade? Well, what if you could be on the other side of that? Meaning when you trade, you're technically buying, right? You're buying thinking the stock's going to go up, or you're shorting thinking the stock's going to go down. However, there's a strategy where you can be on the other side of that and be the seller, right? So you sell a contract to the people who are buying, which means you make guaranteed income. Yes, it's a little boring. You just sit and wait, but you get paid. It's like having a second job without having to do the work. It's called the wheel strategy. And in this case, you're just selling options. You're not buying any options. You're selling the contract. You're selling a contract as a promise to buy a stock at a lower price. And then you turn around, if you happen to actually buy the stock, you turn around and start renting that stock out and then pick a price at which you want to sell it and promise someone that you will sell it at a certain price and also get paid for that. So it's a win-win situation. Now, if you do this with stocks that you would normally buy in your Roth IRA, such as, you know, the S&P 500 or Apple stock or Amazon stock or Nvidia, then there's no losing, right? Because the only risk here is missing out on gains, which is not a risk at all. It's just you could have made a little more money, but it's okay. At least you got guaranteed money. Or actually the stock going lower than the price you promised to buy it at. So example, you promised to buy it at $100 and it goes down to 90. So now you got to buy the stock at $100, even though it's at $90. So you lose $10, but it's an unrealized loss. You don't really lose $10 per share because you didn't sell it. What you can do is turn around and rent your stock out and wait for that $10 to come back up. Because if you're using stocks, like I said, Amazon, Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, these stocks will eventually go back up. So you're not in the loss. You're not going to lose any money. Again, I am no financial advisor, but this is just my experiences and knowing logic, right? Doing my research and looking at how the strategy works. There's really no risk as long as you're using a quality stock. So in this video, I am going to show you guys exactly what that looks like using Robinhood, because I believe is the easiest interface. If you don't have an account, I'll put a link below. It is an affiliate link, and I believe we both get a free stock, or an amount of dollars per stock when you sign up for an account. However, that's not the importance. The important is why I use Robinhood. So I do use multiple accounts, but Robinhood is the easiest for a beginner. It has the easiest interface. And I'm going to show you guys, in this video, step by step on what that would look like, right, to buy options on Robinhood. Now, if you guys like this content, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and comment below what else you guys want to see. If you want me to go into details on anything specifically, but I speak about a lot on this channel, how everything finance, pretty much getting paid with Jay. That's what it's called. So it's about getting paid, whether you're paying off debt or you're making money or you're investing money. Either way, that's what this channel is about. So make sure you subscribe. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we are, brand new account here in Robinhood. I called it the wheel because that's actually what the strategy is called. Again, check out some of my other videos where I go into these strategies individually. Obviously, this is two strategies combined to make one strategy. So you're using the cash cure puts as part one, and then the cover calls as part two, and that creates the wheel strategy. So in this example, I'm just going to go briefly over using, a stock that has high premiums, which means it also costs a lot of money, or using a stock with decent premiums, but it's a little more affordable for you to start growing your account today. So we're going to start, I believe let's use Amazon, right? You can use any stock, but I'm going to use Amazon here. So let's use Amazon. So if I search Amazon, this will pop up, right? Okay, so here we are on Amazon. Amazon's currently trading at $250. So just so we make things clear, I've explained this before, but when you sell options, you sell in contracts, and one contract equals 100 shares, which is why a lot of people don't do this, because the smaller stocks, you don't make big premiums, but the bigger stocks you do, but you would need 25 grand to be able to buy 100 shares of Amazon, correct? So in this case, you're going to need some collateral in order to be able to buy the shares of Amazon. If you don't have 25 grand, don't worry, stick to the end. I'm going to show you an example with a smaller stock. But I just wanted to show you the potential of your premiums versus, between a bigger stock and a smaller stock. So here's Amazon, right? So Amazon, as you can see here in Robinhood, once you click on Amazon, you can buy stocks right here. You can buy fractional shares. You can buy in dollars or you can buy shares. It's up to you. But if you scroll down right here where it says trade Amazon options, you click on that. And it brings you to what you call the option chain. So the option chain shows you can buy and sell options. But in this case, we are just sellers. We only care about selling. So make sure you click on the sell tab. And then you can either sell a call or sell a put. In the wheel strategy that I'm explaining to you right now, you start with a put and then you move to the call if the result ends up with you owning the stock. If it doesn't, if you don't end up owning the stock, then you keep doing puts until you actually own it. Now, what do I mean by actually own it? So when you sell a put, I explained it in the beginning, we're going to pick sell put and then we're going to pick an expiration. So when you're selling options, there's two things you worry about, right? It's you want to pick an expiration and the price at which you want to either buy the stock or the price at which you even want to sell the stock. So in this case, with a put, we're buying it, right? We want to buy Amazon stock. So we're going to pick the expiration of, usually we pick 30 days, right? 30 to 45 days is a sweet spot. I personally like 30 days. Or close to 30 days because I like to know how much I'm getting paid at the end of the month. It's kind of like a job. I treat it like a job. At the end of the month, okay, I made whatever, $1,000. I take out my tax money, put it aside, and I can withdraw that 1,000 if I want to, or I can reinvest it. It's up to me to do what I please with that. So it's a lot easier to manage. So in this case, we have 31 days, which goes into December. Normally, I won't do that. I'll pick the last Friday of the month. But on the day I'm making this video, 31 days falls in December. Today is November 4th. I'm already a few days in. Normally, I would look for my trades on November 1st around there, or maybe the end of the month. It would have been October 30th or October, 28th around there. So in this case, I'm just going to pick 24 days for today. I'm not going to pick 30, but I will show you what the difference in premiums between the two. So let's pick the 24-day expiration, which means I want this price. I am willing to buy this price, this stock at a specific price by this date. Okay. And then two things are going to happen. Either it'll be at that price or it won't be. So let me show you what the chain looks like. So this little green line right here shows you what today's price is, $2.50. And then these are the prices in which you want to buy the stock. You get to choose. But before you choose, there's something you should look at. And it's right here where it's chance of profit. This percentage gives you the percentage of the chances of you collecting a premium and not having to buy the stock, meaning it's going to expire worthless. That's what they call. So normally you like to pick anywhere between 70 and 80. So in this case, we're trying to buy the stock at a discount. So at $2.50, let's say I want to buy, like I said, we normally go with like an 80% chance. This one says 79, this one's 84. There's nothing exactly 80. So let's just say we wanted to do 84 to be safe, right? That means we can buy the stock at $235, even though it's at $2.50. We're saying I'm agreeing to buy it at $235 because we're promising the buyer that, right? We're the seller. So we're promising the buyer that I'm willing to buy this stock at $235. The buyer will pay you a premium for that. And they'll pay you a premium of $1.87 per share, which means that's $187. And you get this money as a credit instantly. You get it as soon as you open this order. Now, remember what I was telling you, this doesn't seem like a high amount, even though it is to do nothing. But that's because we're at 24 days. Watch when I change this to 30 days. And we'll go back down to the 80% chance. Here's 80% chance. Now you're getting $258. So that's why you like to pick 30 days. If you go 38 days, same stock, $325. So the more time you give it, the more you're going to get a little more premium, but it also gives it a chance for the stock to move in that direction. Now, the goal of the wheel strategy is to actually get assigned. You want to actually own the stock. So you can do the cover calls. So in this case, you don't want to keep pushing it back. I like to, by the end of the month, I want to say, let's pick the 31 days because it looks like a better premium, right? All right, so we're saying in 31 days by December 5th, we're willing to buy the stock at $235 and we get a credit of $258, which you get instantly. So if I click on this, as you can see, estimated credit, $257. This is obviously minus fees, $257.96. That's how much you're going to get today. You get that instantly. Now, I'll explain in another video why I say it's a credit and not exactly profit, because obviously if it was just, hey, you get this credit and then cancel and then close it out tomorrow, then everybody would be doing that and everybody would be making money, right? No, you actually have to wait the 31 days to get the complete, to earn, let me use that term, right? To earn the 258. You get the 258 up front, but you got to earn it. So it's kind of like going to a carnival. And when you go to a carnival, right, you pay to play, right? So the pay to play, the person paying to play is the buyer, and you're the carnival guy, right? You're the guy who's running the game. So you get paid the upfront money. Let's say it's $10, you know, for I don't know, a couple of darts, right? $10 for 5 darts. So I got paid $10 up front, right? However, I got to wait for him to throw those 10 darts or 5 darts, whatever I said. I got to wait for the player to throw those 10 darts to see if I have to give them a prize. So I don't know until he plays those 10 darts if I'm going to be out of a prize or not. So that's kind of how this works. So as the seller, you get the 258 up front, but you got to wait the 31 days to actually earn that 258. So because you can always buy out of it early, let's say in a week, you know, it's $235 and the stock shoots up to $300. So if it shoots up to $300, that means you're further away from your price, which means before December 5th, you're going to collect a lot more of, you're going to earn, I should say, you're going to earn a lot more of this $258 because now this 81% chance is going to turn into like a 95% chance because the stock shot through the roof and is nowhere near your price. So you can actually close it out early, but I'll get into that in a different video. So that's selling a put. Now let's use an example. Let me take this off. Let's use an example. Let's say, because I want to use these 31 days. Let's say your price was $250 and we had $259. So it's under $250, which, by the way, let me explain that real quick. So 2 things can happen when you have the put. If the price is at $235 or lower, then you're going to have to buy the stock at $235, 100 shares, right? You got to have $23,500 in order to buy this. If the price is above, and also you also get to keep the premium. So you have to buy the shares, but you get to keep the 258, the complete 258. You earn the 258, and then you have to buy 100 shares of the stock. Now, if the price is above 235 on December 5th, then you get to keep the 258 and you don't have to buy the shares. You still have $23,500 in your account. Then you can do this again and repeat the process next month. Okay, now let's use the example of the call. Let's say, again, today was day 31. The stock was trading at 300. You agreed that you'll buy it at 250. And today the price is 259, which means you're under 250, which means I have to buy the stock at $250. Okay, so let's say I bought the stock, I own it for 250, right? I bought 100 shares at 250. I spent $25,000 to buy 100 shares. And now I own 100 shares of the stock. So now you can go here and sell a call, which is kind of like renting out your stock. And I'm going to pick 31 days again, the expiration, 31 days out. And I bought it at 250. Now I can sell it at 250 and just break even on that price. On the stock appreciation means I don't get any capital gains. And I will collect $11.90 per share, which is $1,190 right now. So that's guaranteed money I get right now, and the stock will sell at 250 if the price is at 250 or above, right? If the price is below 250 or above on December 5th, I get to keep those $1,190 and do this process again next month. So that's what I mean by it's almost like the easiest money you can make, less risk. You don't have to worry about anything. Now, here's the best part. I bought it at 250. If I wanted to sell it at 255, now I make $5 per share. And remember, where each contract is 100 shares, so that means I make $500 on stock appreciation. Plus, in this scenario, I get another $915 for the premium. And this is easy money because let's say I don't care where the price is. I don't mind selling it at 255. You make it easy 500 here, right? If it actually hits 255 or above, and you make it easy $915 here. And if it's below 255, if it never gets there, then you get to keep the $915 and do this again next month and have another chance to make another $915 plus another $5 in appreciation. Let's say if you pick, at that point you will pick 260 probably, or depending on what the price is. And then you can make that money. So this process completes over and over. And then again, if you happen to sell it at 255 and you collect your 915 and you collect your $5 of stock appreciation, now you sold the stock, you don't have it anymore, but you have $25,000, $25,500, and now you can do the put side again and now buy it at a discount one more time and do the process all over, and that's why it's called the wheel. Okay, so I don't want to keep going further into this video. I wanted to cut it short and not get too confusing, but that's pretty much what it looks like to buy and sell a put. And then, to sell a put and then sell a call if you actually own the stock. Now, the other stock, because I promised you that, let's say we ran something like SoFi. SoFi is a good stock. It's kind of like another company competing with Robinhood, where they have a lot of stuff, a lot of products. You can get loans, you can get banking, you can sell options, same thing. SoFi is selling at $29.61, which means in this case, you only need $2,961 to get started running the wheel on this specific stock. So if you go here and trade options, it's actually less because remember, you want to buy it at the discount. So if you go to sell, put, and go 30 days out, now the price is currently at 29. You say, hey, I want to buy it at 25. That's $2,500 you need. You only need $2,500 of collateral to be able to make $44. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you start doing the math and divide your premium into the actual collateral you're making, it gives you a return, and that's the return you're making in just 30 days. However, to me, because the strategy is so simple and you're buying stocks that you want to own anyway, it's 100% return every single time for me, because eventually I'm gonna collect this and still get my money back, whether I sell the call or I own the shares and I'm collecting premium on selling calls, or I sold the shares and I make stock appreciation. So either way, it's a win-win for me. So when you think about it in that aspect, it's 100% win rate, 100% return in 30 days, because you're eventually going to get your money back and you get to keep the premium. So that means I made $44 this month. And then at the end of the month, if it doesn't hit $25, I still have my $2,500, made $44, or I make $44 and then I own 100 shares of SoFi and I can go here and sell a call. And if you go 30 days out on a call, I can sell it, it's $29. I can sell it for $1 more and make another $215. So this process continues over and over. That's the wheel strategy. I know I didn't want to go too far and make this video too long. However, I wanted to make sure you guys understood this. So if you like content like this, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and comment below if you want to see any other videos, if you want me to make a live trade or something like that, and I'm willing to do that for you guys. See you guys in the next one.